just moving along in our weekly little clips. And can I tell you, last Monday, when I came to you, I told you that God is good. Can I tell you that God is still good? He is faithful to us and everything that we go through and everything that we're involved with. Remember, we're talking about the disciples. And Jesus was teaching out of the ship, and came time Jesus said, let's go over to the other side. Remember, I told you he was talking about their destiny. And they're headed, he said, let us. He wasn't sending them. He said, let us go over. And they're on their way, and Jesus is no doubt weary, and he lays down in the ship to go to sleep. Well, this great storm, this mega storm and violent whirlwind comes up, and the disciples have done all that they know to do, and they're still afraid that they're going to perish. And what did they do? They went and sought Jesus. Now, Jesus, they soon found out, was the Lord over the wind and the waves and all that pertains, and he took care of them. I like to think that Jesus was in control because he was at the helm of the ship. Now, the type ships that they were using, the fishing boats, the boat was controlled in the hinder part of the ship. And that's where Jesus was. And it simply tells us we need always to put Jesus in control of our lives. Because we don't know what we're going to face later tonight or tomorrow. But whatever it is, if God is in control, he will take us through. The old songwriter said, he pilots my ship every day. If Jesus is my pilot, he's going to take me where I need to be. You know, those old riverboat operators that used to go up and down the Missouri and the Mississippi. Those old steamboat operators, they knew everything out there in the river that could bring damage to their vessel. Well, more than that, Jesus knows everything concerning you and wants you to get to the other side safely and successfully. So let him pilot your ship. Now, when you look at the whole scenario, upon the trial that the disciples are facing, this great mega whirlwind storm comes down upon them, and you might think that the disciples' faith appeared weak. Well, even if it did, their prayers appeared strong, because they went and got Jesus. Save us! We're going to perish. Well, it just makes us come to the place of, in the midst of your mega storm, in your mega whirlwind, I would ask you tonight, who do you turn to? Those songwriters said, who do you know that can walk on the waters? Who is it that calms the sea? Bringing his love to all your sons and the daughters, meeting the people's needs. Oh, who do you know? Well, the disciples knew the Master. I trust you know the Master tonight, because He is able to take you and deliver you through every situation and circumstance that comes your way. Blessed is the individual whose counsel is the Lord. Wherever you are, whatever you're going through, if you'll turn it to God, God will take care of you. You know, I'm standing here this evening in front of Nancy's baby grand piano. It's a beautiful piano. It needs to be tuned. But the fact is, every piano like this has to get tuned to keep it in tune. I have guitars in my office. They have to be tuned to make beautiful chords. Well, let me tell you something. God has to keep you and I in tune to make sweet music to Him. Sometimes the tuning gets a little difficult. Sometimes it's not easy. But on the other end of the tuning, there's a beautiful, beautiful sound. So maybe in what you're dealing with today, it might possibly be that God is using it to tune you, to bring you into a fine place in Him. A tuning process. Oh, it could be rough. Sailing that ship that day was rough, but they had the answer, and they loosed their faith and opened up their prayer and said, Jesus, in the tuning of your life, don't forget who to turn to. Don't be afraid nor ashamed to call out on Jesus and let Him fine-tune you. Now, on my guitars, it used to be quite a process to tune your guitar. But now they got these little bitty tuners that latch onto the neck, and you put it on the string that you're going to tune, and it'll either show you sharp or flat. But when you get that string tuned just right, you can tell by looking at that little meter that it's in tune. Well, let me tell you something. When we try to tune ourselves, we can get sharp or we can get flat. But when God tunes us, we're going to be just right and make beautiful music with Him. These disciples knew who to turn to. And when Jesus appeared to be asleep in the back of the boat, He was still in charge. And when you think He's not hearing your cries, your supplications, seeing you in your predicament, remember He's there. He's at the controlling point of the boat, and He'll take care of all things surrounding you and me if we'll just trust Him. Put Him in charge. My friend, understand, we know what to do. We turn our eyes on the King. Look unto Him who is the author and finisher of our faith. Aren't you glad that verse didn't stop with just the author? But he also said, and finisher of our faith. So look to Him who is able to keep you, to sustain you, and take you safely to the other side. Be faithful, be strong, know in whom you believe. Listen, until tomorrow night, God bless you. Go with God. Have a great day tomorrow, and even the rest of this evening. Allow the presence of God to go with you. Good night.
This question,